Hi there, my name is Toby, and today I want to keep talking about my ether physics. But today again is very important. This little talk, I think, is gonna bring this all into reality. I hope today you're gonna understand, all of you will be able to understand how ether technology works. Okay, it's all about, that's what it all boils down to. I'm talking about ether physics, philosophy. Yeah, but where's the reality of this? What can you do with it? What can you do with it? Well, that's what I'm going to talk about today. And today I'm talking about geometry, because that is the secret. This all boils down to geometry. And is there any power in geometry? This here is geometry. This is just a piece of geometry that I made. Is there any power in it? You see, modern physics can't measure anything. Well, there's no power in that. It's just geometry. But all technology is based on geometry. It's a shape of things. You get particular substances and you put them in a particular geometry, and then you either move them about or you apply some electricity or some light or some heat to it, and then you've got some technology. Now this is geometry all by itself. It has no electricity, it has no heat, it has no light. Now remember, I talk about it, there is only one energy, that is electromagnetism. Only one field. Everything in the manifest universe is electromagnetism. So you have to watch my whole series to really get that in detail. I explain this from the beginning in my ether physics. It's numbered, so you can go back and watch it in sequence, and you should understand all this. But there's no obvious energy, there's no manifest energy in here, so where's the energy? The energy is in the ether. That is the unmanifest. That is the field of potentiality, the field of potential, possibilities. It's an abstract field, a philosophical field, but if you understand the philosophy, you realize it has to be reality. It's unmanifest reality. So this geometry is creating an energy in the ether, an etheric effect. It's not a physical effect, it's an etheric effect. But you've got to understand, both effects are created by geometry. See, geometry is more important than substances, because geometry controls the force that comes before electromagnetism, which comes before substances. We're only looking at substances. Geometry applied to substances is modern physics, modern technology. Geometry applied to ether is ancient technology, subjective technology. This is alien technology, futuristic technology. But it's in the ether. Now the ether is subjective. That means it's a personal experience. It's not physical, but it does not mean it's not real. It means it is subjectively real. You have to feel it. You have to feel it. If you're not sensitive to the ether, a lot of this stuff that's why it's meaningless. If you are sensitive to the ether, if you are a Jedi, you will feel the force, and you will feel it. You will feel the geometry. Oh, there's power here. You see, people go to the pyramids in Giza. I've never been. The missus and I, we always wanted to go. I'm not sure if we'll ever go. I'm not so bothered now because I understand it. But I know what would happen to me, both of us. We would feel the power of those pyramids as we arrive in the country. We would be feeling it on the plane. Most people don't do that. They can't feel it. As we drive up to the pyramids, our brains would be bursting. And we'd go inside the pyramid, try and take a moment in the king's chamber. If anyone wasn't looking, I'd jump in the sarcophagus. The power. We would feel it. Most people can't feel it. They all feel something because it is still objective. Real geometry, you have to have the correct geometry. The correct geometry will stimulate the ether, and everyone will feel it. That's why this is healing. All this stuff is healing, whether you are aware of it or not. But if you're aware of it, it has a far greater effect. Remember, it's subjective science. this soul spirit. If your soul is aware of it, you have a powerful soul. When you get the technology, your soul will use that technology. This is subjective technology, technology for your soul spirit, for healing. I don't know how to describe this. Now the geometry, like I said, how do you create it? It's created on the golden ratio. The golden ratio is the mathematics that governs growth. Everyone knows that. But it also governs the entire universe. It governs the creation of electromagnetism. The proportionality between electrostatics and magnetism in the universe and in the creation of it is in the proportion of the golden ratio. Now the way that is an egg, that's the easiest way of looking at it, an egg. The egg is the fundamental form, geometry of the golden ratio. The most powerful geometry in the universe is the sphere, because the fundamental force collapses to a point that is the most efficient geometry for that force. But the fundamental geometry of a life form, a soul, a living being, a consciousness, is an egg, the golden ratio geometry. It is a sphere with the golden ratio applied to it, such that it stretches out into an egg. Now, if you look at Victor Schauberger's technology, again, he wrote a book called Living Energetics. Living Energetics. He talks about water and geometry. And his geometry is all organic forms, organic shapes, spirals, but they're all natural, based on the golden ratio. He's got eggs. He's got urns. All this stuff creates power in water. And movement of water through these organic spirals creates implosion, creates power. You can create real technology from this. Just through geometry and a little bit of water flowing through. Free energy. And no one's looking at it. Now, I've thought about this stuff all my life. I've taught this in different ways. My first time I taught it, I called it School of Energy. Well, I taught martial arts before that, my own way. Then I created School of Energy. After that, I called it Living Energetics. But that was before I realised Victor Schauberger had already created a book called Living Energetics. So I thought, Victor Schauberger got there before me. So I couldn't use the word Living Energetics. But my Living Energetics is simply now, because I did all this before I even heard of Victor Schauberger. When I finally started to put this out, I thought I better just search. Has anyone created Living Energetics? Yeah, Victor Schauberger. Oh, all right. But he's doing the same thing. He's doing the same thing. It's Aether Physics. Aether Physics. So now I'm calling it body efficiency training. Nobody's got that. That's pretty unique. But it's the same thing. The body is organics, organic geometries, water, liquid, fluids. And efficiency means geometry. It means the golden ratio. And training, we have to practice. We have to practice this on all levels. Practice in our body, practice in our mind, practice by creating things. This is technology. This is feng shui. I'm going to do a whole talk about feng shui eventually as well. But essentially that is the placement of things. That is the arrangement of things. The arrangement of things is alignment. Alignment is geometry. That's why these old world buildings are aligned. They're all aligned. They're all aligned. Now again, I want to show you this because this also goes, once you understand the power of geometry, it's really there. Now it's got to be the right geometry. If you have chaotic geometry, see, this goes together with artwork. That's why we can't understand it. Artistic buildings, these old world buildings, cathedrals, temples, churches, the older the better, the more elaborate, the more complex the geometry, that's the more power it has. The more complex the geometry, the more power it has. And that geometry will all be correct, perfect alignments, perfect proportionalities, all measured, all interlocking. And we still look at these cathedrals too simplistically. There's layers of that geometry which we have no clue about. Layers of it requires serious mathematicians to do analysis. And you will find the golden ratio all over the place. That's what gives it power. But it's beautiful. It's artistic. They're all different. Art, a true art, is an expression of geometry and the golden ratio. That is the geometry that attracts the ether. It must be beautiful. So now we've got ugly art, brutalism, and again, that does the opposite. That creates disharmony. It fractures your field. It separates your soul. It dilutes you. It brings you down. That is a prison. You see, a prison was a prison. If one of these ether buildings is a healing temple, what is a prison? Well, what is the opposite of healing? Well, the opposite of healing is the absolute destruction. It's the destruction of your soul, leading towards the destruction of your energy body, leading towards the destruction of your body. So we can also, there's power in bad geometry. It's destructive power. That's what we're working on now. It's on purpose. If you research this, brutalism, architectural brutalism, all these serious people talking about control, these political great leaders of control systems, they all thought about this. How do we control the masses? Oh, put them in a prison. Make them feel like they're in prison. Then we can control them better. So that's what ugly art is as well. Destruction of our energy field. But you will feel this if you can feel the ether. Then it's more real to you. That's why you have to train. You have to train to understand ether physics. You have to train your body. So if you're listening to my ether physics, please go back. Just look through my exercises. I've got loads of workouts. There's so many that I've done now that I'm slowing them down a bit. I'll be doing more and more, but there's so many there. Go back and have a look. Go back and have a look. Just try out any of my exercises and have a little go. Because now you understand it's to do with connecting to the force, the energy. If you can feel the energy in your body, now you'll be able to feel it in the external world. You're becoming a Jedi. You sense the disturbance in the force. This is geometry creating a disturbance in the force here. It's in the empty space, the geometry. There's nothing there. No, there is something there. There's geometry there. That geometry is high level metaphysics. It's not physical. It's a conceptual space. And the more perfect I can create this conceptual space is to do with perfection. The more perfect I can create it, the more power it will have. Now you've got to understand the power of geometry. It is in the perfection of it. That's why these cathedrals must be perfect. That's why they are advanced. So advanced. They're like laser precision perfect. We can't do that now with lasers. You can only do that with ether. Ether perfection. The soul spirit can do this. Very, very advanced. Very advanced. So anyway, the egg, that's what I'm going back to. My missus and I went out to a little Valentine's dinner and we found this place, a restaurant, where they had these domes in the garden. So you have the outside dining and they had a little secret garden with a church, old world building. So I thought, we've got to go there just for that little experience. I've never seen anything like it. And you're sitting outside in a secret garden and there's an old world building. We're just looking at this magic building. But, the experience was just too much, too good. And these were just little domes made of wood, rattan or bamboo and just plastic. But they were in the shape of an egg. The top side of an egg, flat on the floor. The top side of an egg. So it had geometry. And it was pretty good, pretty close to an egg. And the moment we went in that, we felt good. And we were analysing it. Is this just because we haven't been, it's been so long we've been out to dinner. Is it just because we've gone out to dinner? No, because we were in the hotel before, it was kind of nice. And we've been out to dinner before, it's kind of nice. No, it was the dome. And is anything special about the dome? There's no crystals, there's no nothing. No, it's just plastic and a bit of wood. But the shape was an egg. It had pretty good formation. So that's what gave it power. And the whole evening I could feel the energy. Oh my God, I felt energized, straight away energized. I just couldn't help it. And I've had this vision for years anyway. Like I said, I just studied metaphysics. The egg is ancient. ancient metaphysics to talk about the soul as an egg. It's very ancient. And now if you look at extraterrestrials, the recent UFO is an egg. A recent UFO is an egg. You can feel the energy of it. When I saw that little video of the egg moving, immediately tingle, that's real. That's real. You feel it. And that I felt in the egg. And I've got many designs for eggs. Egg healing technology with eggs. We have to build a big one like that. Anyway, that's another discussion. But the power is in the geometry of the egg, and we felt it, and I'm still feeling it. You know, I can still remember it. And that's why, again, finally, it felt like a UFO. It felt like we were in a UFO. And that egg-shaped UFO, that would be real. And if you felt, you would feel it, especially if you knew the ether. If you could get to that UFO, that egg UFO, if I could see that from a distance, 100 yards, I'd already be tingling. Whoa, I can feel the power. But if you could get inside it, if you would sit inside that egg-shaped UFO, I'd be an energy body. You would feel it. It's pure magic. Pure magic. This is Jedi technology. That means subjective. You experience the force, not just putting it in technology. And that egg, UFO, is ether technology, but also physical technology. That UFO, you're sitting it, and then it will float off, and off it will go. It will go through water. It will go through air. Now, I don't know how much, I don't think it will go through solid matter. It will still have limitations. It will still have limitations. I don't think there's a way of going through solid matter, not physically. But you'll be able to do a lot. Water and air will make no difference. It'll make no difference. But it's the power. This is the power of geometry. Geometry in its own right has power. That is the secret of metaphysics. That is the secret of ether technology. And it's the secret of free energy, real technology. Real technology. That's where modern physics, they're not looking at geometry. They think, what's geometry? Where's the atoms? Where are the atoms? You're so hung up on your damn atoms. There's no atoms here. I mean, forget the air. This could be in a vacuum. There's no atoms. Where's the technology? Technology is in the ether. The ether is not physical, metaphysical, but it is real. It is real. Not the crystals, not the geometry. It's the ether that is manifesting, not physical. Etheric energy. If this was powerful enough, you would have some electrostatics. You would something going on. You would be actually be able to detect it. If this was the size of the Great Pyramid of Giza, then you would actually have a little bit of electrostatics. Everyone would feel it. Oh, I'm buzzing. What's going on? What's going on? We can't even imagine what it would feel like. So, I hope this made sense. Please do stay tuned. I've got a lot more depth to this ether physics coming. But every one of my videos is different. Please check out my homepage and just look through all the different playlists, the different series, and click on them and look through each one, because every video is different. And they're always going to be different. Always talking about the same thing, but from a very different angle. So thank you so much for your time, for listening. I hope this made sense, and I look forward to seeing you in any of these other videos here.